This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
It's halftime of Game 5 of the NBA Finals with the Bulls leading the Jazz 36-30. Utah has 14 turnovers and just 14 field goals in a sloppy first half. Tony Kukoc has 17, Michael Jordan 13 for the Bulls, and Karl Malone 14 for the Utah Jazz. Hi everybody, Hannah Storm back here in Chicago. In the past decade, the Chicago Bulls have forged one of sports' great dynasties. 5 NBA titles in the last 7 years, and now just one win away from a 6th championship. Earlier today, Ahmad Rashad spoke with a reflective Michael Jordan.
A shot on Elo. The Bulls win the championship. Superman back in the building. Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game.
You have so much respect for people who've gone in the trenches with you, who have come, from the bottom with you to the top. A lot of these guys that I'm playing with now never really experienced when Chicago Stadium was only 6,500 people watching the game. That builds camaraderie between friends and players and coaches and stuff like that. That to rebuild or to start over or to have that with someone else, you basically have to go through the same processes. You can't skip steps to earn that type of respect. You got to go through all the disappointments that a relationship must go through. Have a sense of respect for the people who have laid the groundworks so that you could be a profitable organization. And I'm not trying to twist Jerry Reinsdorf's arm. It sounds like it, though.
This particular year, you are as happy, as comfortable as I've seen you in a playoff situation, in a championship run situation. What's the reason for that?
Enjoying the moment, enjoying the moment when you really view this as the moment. A lot of people are speculating, it's the last dance, or it could be one more year, it could be 2 more years. But with those thoughts wavering and hovering around you look at the moment and say, let's enjoy the next step. You don't take it for granted. In previous years, you probably have taken it for granted, but don't take it for granted this time.
1-5 on the verge of maybe winning 6. Do you feel yourself getting full? You know what I mean? You're hungry or you're full yet?
No, you feel yourself getting full because each time that you win, it takes away a little bit of that hunger, which is a challenge within itself. It's a battle within your mind to find a challenge to go to that same place that you've been 5 times before, and that's hard. When people say, well, the first one was the hardest, no. The last one's the hardest because you're battling with yourself.
Are you starting to feel satisfied at least? As an athlete, are you feeling satisfied? Because I know at times that we've talked, you say you're still searching for that perfect game, still searching to find in your mind greatness as you describe it.
I'm getting better. I'm getting at my peak. I'm getting at my limit. Physically, I think I am at my limit. Mentally, it's a lot of empty space that I don't know much about, but I keep forcing myself to learn more about the game. I am getting to a point where I'm maxing out my education about the game of basketball. And when you get to that point, it's a necessity to pass it. So where Dr. J was when I came in the game, I feel like I'm in a mirror, and the face has changed from Dr. J to me.
You talk about the change, you talk about the passing on, your decision as to what you're going to do. What kind of timetable do you have on that?
It's not really a timetable. I don't want to put a timetable on it. I think it would hit me. It would come to me and say, well, evaluating all the things that have been done and all the decisions that have been made, and my feeling would tell me, hey, maybe this is a good time just to say, hey, I'm done.
Even as we watch Michael Jordan tonight try to lead the Bulls to their 6th NBA title, the question remains, is this Jordan's last game here in Chicago? When we return, we'll be joined live by Bulls chairman Jerry Reinsdorf. First, a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. the verge, perhaps, of winning a 6th NBA title, just one win away. The question is this the last time we'll see this team together?
Well, we haven't won anything yet, but I certainly hope that if we do win, that this is not the end of this run. Of course, it's not totally up to me. I mean, Michael and Scotty and 7 other players are free agents. They have their own decisions to make with respect to their families. But I don't want to be the person that breaks up the Chicago Bulls as long as they're winning championships.
All parties seem to agree that Scottie Pippen is the key to keeping this thing together. Michael says he won't return without him. What are your plans regarding re-signing Pippen?
Well, we certainly want to sit down with Scotty when we're allowed to do it. We can't until after July 1st under the NBA rules. But as soon as we can sit down and talk, we're certainly going to talk to Scotty, because if this is a championship team, we'll find out in another 24 minutes. I certainly think we should do everything we can to try to keep it together, but it's not just my decision.
Well, you brought up the date, July 1st. That's when Scottie Pippen becomes a free agent. Also, though, in all likelihood, the way things seem now, there will be an NBA lockout at that point. So what special problems does that present in trying to re-sign Pippen and keep the team together?
Well, I certainly hope there is not a lockout, and I know that Commissioner Stern is doing everything in his power to reach an agreement. But should there be a lockout, then that would put everything on hold until the lockout period is over.
Have you and Michael Jordan discussed a scenario under which he would return? Does it have to include Pippen and Jackson?
Well, Michael has never said that anything has to happen for him to return. What he has said to me is that he wants to take time over the summer to just decide what he wants to do. But obviously, Scottie Pippen is very, very important to Michael, because he knows that Scottie is the perfect complement to him. And I think if Scottie were not to return, that might have an impact on Michael's decision.
This is such an unusual situation tonight. Your team is on the verge of a 6th championship, and yet there's all this turmoil about the possible breakup of a dynasty before its time. How has it affected you?
Hasn't affected me at all. I mean, this is the 3rd consecutive year that we've been going through this sort of thing, and it really hasn't affected me. I'm just trying to enjoy the run and hope that I can survive the next 24 minutes.
Okay, thanks a lot for joining us, Jerry. We appreciate it. And basketball fans everywhere very anxious to see how this thing turns out. Meanwhile, last night, the WNBA began its 2nd season. We have a pair of games this weekend. Tomorrow, it's a rematch of last year's championship game with the New York Liberty visiting the Houston Comets. And on Sunday, it's Lisa Leslie and the LA Sparks in Phoenix to take on the Mercury. Leslie had 24 points and 12 rebounds in the opening night victory. Both games at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 Pacific. The Bulls lead the Jazz by 6 in pursuit of title number 6. We'll send it back to Bob, Doug, and Isaiah for the